Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to my space, and thank you so much for your show of consistency, love, request for more videos. It means a lot to me, and thank you for the subscriptions, the link sharing to other people. And if you haven't subscribed, please just quietly do that now, gently. It won't cost you much. Okay, so today I'll be sharing about the pros and cons of being a PK. Wondering what a PK is? A pastor's kid. So I'll be using words like being a PK, being a pastor's child, and all that. But let me start from the basis of I think what we actually should look at is the fact that a pastor of a church is expected to have a solid home. Now, it is just an expectation, even biblically. You hear stuff like to be a bishop, you have to be a husband of one wife, someone like a leader in the house and all that. So a lot of expectations is being put on a pastor's child. We tend to end up sometimes not living the lives that we want to live ourselves. For me, growing up for me has been really very, very, very serious. Interestingly, on my own part, I don't think my experience is as bad as some other people's own. Because on my own part, my dad is not a full-time pastor. Yes, you're wondering what a full-time pastor is. So for my church, we have the full-time pastors that is all they do. The church, the ministry is all they get to do, and these people are the ones that you get to transfer to. You can be in Lagos this month, and in the next 4-5 years, they are in Ekiti. And but a part-time pastor is someone that you cannot transfer like past his work vicinity. So my dad had a job, he has a job that he does, and he also pastors a church. So that's a part-time ministry for him. So it's a part-time assignment. So for me, I wasn't really into the whole full-time ministry. We get to be in Lagos this year, we are in Abuja next year, we are in Kaduna next 2 years and all that. No, but then I still had to face the con of a high level expectation that is placed on a lot of pastors' children. One of the cons of being, I'm going to start with the cons. Yes, there are the pros, but I'm going to start with the cons. So yes, one of the cons is psychologically it kind of makes you withdrawn from people, from hearing your opinion, from voicing what you would actually naturally do if you were not a pastor's daughter. Or on the other side, it makes you rebellious. You just want them to know, see, I no send on now. Now only my papa receive call, you no put am for speaker. No be conference call him receive and all that. So it affects these children, and we tend to go through a lot that we can't share with our parents, we can't share with people in the church because they expect you to be this perfect child. You have a gift that you want to share to the world. Like for me, when I wanted to do music, it was just expected of me from everyone to do gospel music. And I thought, so music here, David is a wonderful musician and all that. It wasn't stated whether he was a gospel musician. In fact, he serenades the king, Saul, back then. So I don't think gospel music was what he was doing to serenade King Saul back then. I struggled with it for years to be able to, tell people that I write better songs for movies. Alright, it's easier for me to write songs about nature. It's easier for me to write songs about stuff that are happening in my society. It also comes to me easy to write worship songs to God. So why should I just sideline my music? We'll talk about that in some other videos. But for today, it was something that I had to deal with. So basically, I can say the major cons that we face as pastors' children is the issue of identity, of which I think our parents have a lot of work to do to fix that. Now, another con from what I got, what I was able to gather in the past week, because people dropped their reviews, another con is someone said I had to be punished double for the sin that everyone commits. Okay, let's say a youth commits a crime, and we have 10 people who committed this crime. And then just because one person is a pastor's child, you get to punish that person twice. You give that person twice the punishment of what you give others, just because you think because you're a pastor's child, you're expected to know better. She said it didn't sit well with her, and So a part of the other cons is, these standards that they just place on us. Nobody told us while growing up that we can have a different personality from our parents. We can decide to choose a different path from our parents, and we can learn to love who we are, even if it is not what our parents actually want to put into all up in our faces and all that. Nobody told us. For some of us, we were really grateful to God that we had lights in the course of our journey in life, and we were able to, understand, okay, God has called our parents. Yes, we have a role to play also. Maybe the church isn't really doing much to help us understand that we, as much as we are pastors' children, we are also individuals of our own. Yes, maybe, but now that we know better, we can try to do things better. So this is like the essence of this video. Actually, we need to understand that yes, my father has been called to be a pastor, or yes, my mother has been called to be a deaconess or a prophetess, but that doesn't stop me from being who God has designed me to be. I have my own life. I can decide to follow the ministry path. I can decide not to follow the ministry path. It doesn't make me less of a pastor's child. Yeah, there are pros. One of the very beautiful pros of being a pastor's child is the fact that it is easy for you to understand Christ early if you're in the right setting. My parents led me to Christ. They made me understand this is, what Christianity is all about and all of those things. And that pro, the interesting one is when it's Christmas time, there's always surplus of food. You understand? And I remember when I was in school back then, I always know that there's provisions, there's excess rice that is following me in January and all that. And also some of the pros is the fact that it unconsciously guides our moral living. Like I didn't get to have a boyfriend till I was old enough. When I mean old enough, I mean old enough to be able to tell my parents that mommy, there's one boy I'm now dating. You understand, that kind of thing. And it's in a way, whether I'm talking about myself now, whether I want to accept or not, it kind of shaped some decisions. Yeah, maybe I might have taken a different path while in school, that I want to live this life, I want to do all of that. But anytime the thought comes to me like this, that you can see your friends are going to the club and all that, just remember, if you go and somebody that knows your father somewhere just sees you, what reports do you expect that person to take back home and all that? So it's cautioned us, it's cautioned me, and it helped form some decisions that I took. Some of the cons also that some people had to feel is the fact that they couldn't separate the identity of their father as a father and their father as a pastor, and this affected a lot of children, in between having to deal with their father as a pastor and being able to also deal with their father as a father. And some parents didn't know how to handle this better. It's always funny when people say, it's a pastor's child. See that girl that got pregnant, it's not pastor's child. Members' children are not even doing all these things, but pastor's children are the ones doing this, they are the ones going wayward, they are the ones doing all of those things. You can't blame those children, and at the same time you can't blame some of those parents. I'm not trying to push blame on anybody in this video. I'm just trying to say that parents, we have parents that are actually watching this. We need to understand that yes, we have a ministry. Yes, we have been called. But aside from being called as a pastor, you are first called as a father to your children. And you are also called as a husband to your wife. This also affects people in marriages. I've heard mothers complain that what their husband does is the church. And if a church member's child comes and says their children have not paid school fees, if it is the last money that is in the house that they want to use to cook food, the man will give it to them. They will not tell them that they should go on dry fasting and all those things. It is the passion. Yes, we understand the passion that is coming with this ministry, but we need to be able to separate that identity as a father, a husband, and a pastor. And then please, another con is any example like this is you that are using to do example in the church. What's that one? Yes, I decided to dress this way today. It is me that decided to do that dress. And then they will not even say, Silewa dressed like this too. It's going to be, Pastor So-so-so's daughter, see the way she dressed. Why? Why do you have to bring my father into my decision of how I am dressed? What is wrong with you people? My father, I've decided not to breastfeed. But really, we need to, cut. You guys need to cut us some slacks. We are humans. we are not expected to, just because our father is a pastor, be supernatural beings. We grow into these things. Actually need to do better. Biblically, a pastor is expected to have a solid home. So the expectations that this whole thing have on their children is quite understandable. But the parents need to help their children understand their identity. First off, some blunders that parents make with parenting is you trying to make your children be who you want them to be, and also you trying to make your children be who you could not be. You know, we really need to try to do better and try to help our children understand what identity is, that they can be whoever they want to be, and you would love them regardless. You need to also not hear stories in the church that, oh, so person's child did this, and then you come home and start using it to stress your children. We need to really do better with that. Keep telling them that you love them, irrespective of whatever decision that they make. Keep telling them. I can't really give advices on how to handle your home. I can't give advice on how to handle your ministry or whatever. But from my experience with my father, I think my father really tried in that aspect of, he will tell you what he thinks is right, and then he will tell you that your decision you make is your own garden business. And then he will tell you that when the repercussion comes, you will be the one to face the consequences yourself. Nobody is going to be there to face it. He will beg you. My mom, on the other hand, can go all up with you know your father's ministry, you know your kiniko and everything, but then they still let us make some decisions on our own. It will cause fight though. It can cause fight. You can struggle. You can do all this. Can we just, try not to sort of put our children in a box by ourselves? If we let these people live, we would understand that they would actually even end up seeing reasons sometimes with what you are saying in the long run. I had to do like a kind of survey with ladies around me that are pastors' children and all that, and trust me, 90% of them said they don't plan to marry a pastor. This is not a topic that we can have in a 10 minutes discussion, 10 minutes video and all that. So I'm going to be back here again, this time maybe with different people. I mean, a pastor and a pastor's child. They don't have to be the same parents. I would get to hear from more people. I would also really love to hear your experiences, because I got to have more ladies talk than guys, and from what I'm seeing, the ladies seem to have a difference from the guys. So if you're a guy and a pastor's child and you want to share your experience of the pros and cons for you, we have the comment section, and if you want to stay anonymous, just find a way to reach out to me, and I'll drop my email in the comment section, and you can send me your experiences and we'll share. And you would love to be in the video when we'll be having the live session, just reach out to me. I would really appreciate that. I hope today we've been able to understand that yes, being a pastor's child and being yourself are two different things that you can actually manage together as one. But we need our parents to understand that they need to help us through the phases of understanding our identity, first as their child and also as a member of their church. And we also need to get into that space where we are able to relate with our parents, first as a minister of God and also as our parents. We need to learn to open up more, and we need to go outside of our space to gather more knowledge to be able to deal with these things, because what happens in church A might be different from what happens in church B. I've seen a lot of ministers' children that are already taking their father's part because they had it easy for them in a way. So whatever their fathers did differently, or our own fathers are not doing right and all that, we don't know. But we are here just saying that, really, what can we do better? A lot of us are still going to end up being ministers, and we are going to have children. So what can we do better? What do you think we can do better? What would you have differently as a pastor's child? How would you have expected your parents to react differently? Or what did you have that made sense as a pastor's child that nurtured you into being this adult that you are today, and you would also replicate it with your children? I'll be waiting for your comments in the comment sections, or in fact, I would appreciate everything in the comment sections. The way, if you want to stay anonymous, My email will be in the comment section. Thank you very much for staying to this very time. If you haven't subscribed yet, now, like now. Which I don't know how to make it face, but just subscribe and I'll say thank you. See you next time. Will come your way. Bye.